Hallo julle, net voordat hierdie episode begin, wil ons net 'n groot dankie sê aan Robbie Louw wat deel is van hierdie episode. Dit episode gaan in Engels wees. Ons kom nou net van Brazil af and what a race. En hierdie is Brazil.
This is Brazil.
Hallo julle en welkom terug by F1 in Afrikaans, 'n nuwe episode. Nou, net real quick, 'n disclaimer, hierdie episode gaan gebeur in Engels. Ons het weer vir Robbie Louw op. Simple reason being is hy's 'n massive Max fan and obviously vir al die Max Verstappen fanboys, Max het obviously gewen hierdie naweek. So ons gaan oor na die Engelse gedeelte van hierdie episode toe. Robbie, welcome back to F1 in Afrikaans. So it wasn't too long ago that we actually recorded an episode with you. Talk to me about how happy you were when Max took the podium on first position from 17th to first.
Hey, it's good to be back here. Thanks for having me again. Unfortunately, obviously, the last episode, I think my volume and my sound wasn't that great, but hopefully it's sorted now. I mean, there's not much to even, explain. I mean, I think it's been done 5 times ever for anyone to finish from 17th and high up in the grid to finish first. And it was just, I was so negative after Sunday morning, waking up and watching the qualifying and all that, and I ended up ending the day with a good race and Max ending up first. I was super happy to see that because I wouldn't say it sealed his championship, but it kind of sealed. It seems like it is a little bit more sealed than it was previously.
Stefan, as always, welcome to back to the episode. You being a Red Bull fan, how do you feel about Max taking the win?
Like I've never seen something like this before in a long time. Actually, spoken to a few friends, and they said like they believe Matt is the next Shumi in the rain. The way he drive was like phenomenal with all the red flags and stuff. Um, and I agree with Robbie. I think in the next race, we hopefully Max can win that, and then he will clinch basically the drivers' championship, and he deserves it. I mean, he had a lot of bad media in the media about him, and I like the way he said on Sunday, where's the British media? I mean, they didn't even show up. How unprofessional is that for the British media not to turn up for the press conference afterwards? I think that just shows you the character of the English people. They are very sore losers, and Orlando as well. I think he lost a lot of fans with his comments on Sunday.
I wanna say this. I don't want to say they are sore losers, but I mean there was. Look, nobody thought that Max is gonna do it. Let's just all be honest, real quick. Nobody thought that Max is gonna take the win from all the way from 17th up into first. I mean, that's just next level cheats that they're using on their computers and on the upgrades in that car. I don't know what they did, but the strategy from Max was phenomenal. Look, I want to say this, and I want to make it fair and clear. He is potentially one of the best drivers in the world. I'm gonna say that 100%. I'm gonna say this as well. It was a very weird but yet a good race overall, with all the red flags. Like I said, red flags from sprint quali the race and all that. So yes, Max Verstappen, one of the best drivers in the world. I think potentially this could be his fourth. I think we are kind of all ready to see it. I'm kind of sad about it because I don't want to see Max again winning the championship. It's just getting boring now. But also, I know there's going to be a lot of people in the comment section that says, oh, yeah, but remember that time when Hamilton won it like 6 years in a row? Okay, look, I understand. I get it. It's no problem. Gentlemen, let's start with this. Well, let me just get my point along first. Max from 17th to first, congratulations. I'll put a photo here of Max with like some pops and all that. I'll ask my editor to do it. But congratulations, Max. What a drive. What a race. I think in the rain, it was probably one of the hardest things to achieve. But he did do it. So, I mean, that's just amazing. Let's go over to Norris. Is Norris just blowing it, Stefan? Is Norris just like blowing the championship out of the water at the moment with him? Dude, I haven't seen this guy take the first corner and be ahead in so many races. Like, he has a curse. He has a curse upon him with every single first corner that there is in every single race. Stefan, let's start with you, man. Do you think Norris has like kind of tossed his championship in the water, or do you think that Vegas coming, Qatar coming, and Abu Dhabi coming, that there could be potentially a couple of changes that that happens to take him to the top, or do you think his championship is just like it's done?
Um, I would say after Vegas, we will see um, if Lando can still do it. But at the end of the day, they will have to do team orders. So I think Perez needs to pull up his socks. Well, he needs to pull up his socks to defend Max, because Lando is gonna come in full force at him. I feel after Sunday's race, it's like he can't handle pressure, man. And it's I mean, like I said, I like the guy.
Stefan, let's start with you, man. I just want to. So this is one of my main questions. So, do you think um Norris has potentially threw his championship away with Brazil, or do you think potentially that in Las Vegas, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi there could be a potentially a couple of changes that does come in where he could most likely win the championship, because according to to the F1 and the things that have been said through a couple of people that I've watched before, so Norris needs to win the next couple of races and win by a country mile, I would say. And he needs to be in front of Max, and Max has to end anything from, I think, P3 up into about to P10 in order for him to win the championship. So please don't quote me on this. This is I've heard it from a couple of people that I've seen. So this is the question. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Do you think that he has thrown his championship position away with Brazil, him struggling in the rain and all that, or do you think that come Las Vegas in 25 days from today, that he could potentially win the championship after Abu Dhabi?
Well, I think they're going to bring a lot of upgrades to Vegas. I think they're going to play the team game. So yeah, I think Perez will have to pull up his socks to defend Max all the time because they're gonna come in hard. And I mean, when they come in hard, I mean, like they coming with like a jet to the next last two races. So yeah, I feel after Sunday he just shown like he can't handle pressure. I mean, Max was like that a lot in his career under pressure, and like the way he handles pressure is like phenomenal. He's so relaxed, and I mean he Norris, I feel he hasn't matured yet to that level where Max is at the moment.
Robbie?
Yeah, so going back to your stats, if I'm correct, I think before last weekend, um, Norris needed to beat Max with by 11 points each race till the end of the season to to basically beat him. That's before this weekend where Max obviously gained. So I'm guessing it's probably like 12 points or 13 points now that he needs to beat Max by to actually win the championships. And I feel like, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, a lot of people like, yeah, obviously Max got a lot lucky with that safety car and that stuff. But I mean, if you look, Norris ended up twice off the track completely, which also, it's not just luck from Max's side. I mean, obviously he raced well, but Norris also messed up personally. I mean, other than strategy and unlucky and this and that, as a racing driver, I mean, he was, I would say, one of the top, let's say, if you look at the top 10 guys, he was one of those guys that actually ended up off the track twice in the race. So, yeah, I think he almost didn't know how to handle those situations. I mean, obviously, it's not just relying on obviously the car's power and that stuff and the safety, I mean, and the DRS systems, but you actually had to bring something out of the ordinary. Where Max, obviously, with his late braking into the first corner, that's where he made a lot of his moves, which was something that he's done from experience, and also he adjusted to the conditions and that stuff. Where I felt Norris just didn't have that extra bit to it. So coming back to that, I think this was personally, if he was 2 or 3 points behind Max or something like that in this race, but what, 5 positions was it behind? Where did he end again? 5th or 6th?
So I believe he ended at 7th. It was a 6th. It was 6th. Yeah. Yes.
That's major. I mean, that's major points. Something he shouldn't have even been in that position from pole to 6th. But anyways, yeah.
The one thing that I can't understand from Norris, and that's the one thing that kind of ticks me at the moment, is the fact that if he qualies at P1, he struggles with every single corner out there, regardless of what it is. It just seems like he cannot focus up and run onto the corner and have the corner and tell everybody go yourself. Sorry, I don't want to cuss, like I said. So like he doesn't have that attitude of like getting to the corner, taking the corner, making the corner his, and just run away with it. It just seems like he kind of gives up. Either he gets scared, and he's playing the long game, which I kind of think is stupid because if you look at the way Max drives, if he's in P1, regardless of what track it is, it could be Monza, for instance, heading into the first right hand corner or turn. Max would not give a damn hell if the guy's next to him. He'll push him off, basically. Well, not push him off, but he'll make sure that he takes the track and the track is his. And that's one thing that I can't understand from Norris. Now, here's my thing. Obviously, I am going to be slightly a bit biased regarding Verstappen. I don't want Verstappen to win another championship. However, you can't deny how good this guy really is. He is a phenomenal driver. I could say potentially one of the best drivers in the world. Currently, I don't think there will ever be someone better than him at this current moment in time, up until I believe maybe 2026. I think 2026 is where the major changes will be. The one thing that I also don't understand, and this is one of the questions that I want to ask you guys. So, we had a very wet race. It was beyond the point. The strategists, man, like in Norris's camp, unbelievable to call this guy in, knowing that anything could happen during a wet race. And Verstappen's strategist, again, decided to do the right thing, wait it out, see what happens. And that kind of ticks me. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it really, really, really ticks me at the moment. So, Stefan, I'll ask you this. Do you think it is a case that maybe Norris should have made the call to say, listen, I am going to stay out? Or do you think it was a fault on the strategist's point of view?
Well, if you look at Hungary, when he's and his engineer like were having a argument on the radio, it seems like he doesn't actually has a say in the team. The principal, I mean, the last time that this issue was in Hungary, and then the his race engineer said like, yeah, if you're not gonna come in now or do that, there's going to be severe consequences. So um, I think he must come to a point where he makes his own decisions. And I mean, look how angry Russell got when his engineer said come in, and he told his engineer, listen here, dude, it's there's gonna be a red flag in the next few laps, and there was, and then he literally went off on his engineer. And that's one thing I don't like about the drivers, like going off at the engineers. I mean, they are following instructions from the team principals. So the people that I need to be angry with is actually the people that is sitting next to the track. So yeah, I don't know how Robbie feels about it, but I think there must be like a other way for the drivers to say, listen here, I mean, talk to your engineer. Don't like just stay quiet. Say to him, just like don't don't feel guilty to argue with your engineer, because at the end of the day you have respect for each other. And I mean, yeah, like I said, I don't know how Robbie feels about it, but I mean, he is in the racing environment when he does his boating, and I think it's the same way they work it out before the races and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, like my thing is again, like I think Norris is in a very a tough situation at the moment because I mean, remember when he was leading his first race there in Russia? I think it was in 2021, if I'm correct. And back then, he didn't pit, and obviously that's where he lost his position. That was by his own choice. And I think from like that day, I see between him and his race engineer, it looks like there's a lot of they don't know who to make the final call between them two. They asking Norris. Norris is not sure because he doesn't almost trust himself as much. Obviously, they made the call there where Norris, as a racing driver, could have, if he had the confidence, like Max, for example, has. I'm not saying Max made the call. They told Max to stay out, but in specific positions, it seems like Max and he's racing driver. He's also Giovanni. Whatever. Yeah, GP. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it's John Piero Lambiasi is his engineer's name. Yeah.
yeah, sorry, yeah, he's a race engineer, and they just understand each other so well that if Max makes a call, he respects it. If he makes a call, Max respects it, and then he believes on the strategist and that stuff. And I mean, I think they couldn't have executed it better. I mean, yeah,
Look, fair enough, fair enough. I get what you guys are saying, but again, man, I don't know if I can actually say this without. Okay, no, I'm gonna have my editor mute this out. I'm gonna take a word out of Christian Horner's book for a second that he said in Drive to Survive. Okay, but he said that I think it was one when Albon was driving for Red Bull at the time when they moved Gasly back to AlphaTauri back then. So my editor can mute this out. The one thing that I'm gonna say is Norris needs to get that fuck you attitude. Mute that out. so so he needs to get that little bit of an FU attitude. Let me just make it more appropriate. So an FU attitude to say, listen, I don't need to come in yet, because the thing is, and that's the one thing that kind of ticked me. It kind of it was just grinding my chains. Is the fact that Ferrari also boxed deathly early, knowing anything can happen. And obviously that created a bit of a chain reaction to a couple of drivers that came in, changed their tires and all that. We saw someone like Colapinto coming in, and not Colapinto, man, Sainz coming in and all that. So the thing is, Norris needs to. I'm gonna get off the topic in a second, but I hope that Norris does win the championship. I do hope that Ferrari actually wins the constructors championship. It's gonna come down to the end. Norris needs to win this to kind of boost his morale. But if Verstappen takes it, I mean, I'm gonna be ticked off, but I'm not gonna be that ticked off. So I mean, I'm gonna be still okay with it, because like I said, for what it's worth, Verstappen is one of the best drivers in the world. I think no one is gonna get close to him. I mean, this guy is just, he's using cheats that's not supposed to be used like at all. I don't know what they're using in their systems, but it's actually quite unreal. So, gentlemen, just a quick one. I don't want to celebrate this, but congratulations to Alpine getting a P2 and a P3. Okay, no one in this season did expect Alpine to get that far. Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly getting a P2 and a P3. Let's start with Stefan. Stefan, what are your thoughts on Alpine actually getting a double podium? I believe it's a double podium since somewhere in the 19s. Like, it's something crazy that they finally got a double podium. So let's start with, and it's two Frenchmen as well. So two Frenchmen in a French car getting a P2, P3. Stefan, how do you feel about them two actually getting the podium? I'm gonna say this from my opinion wise, I was happy for them. I was so happy for them, but also I am slightly an RB Cash App team fan, so I'm kind of, again, I'm a bit worried the fact that Alpine is now one step, well, they one position higher in the constructors championship than RB Cash. And but I am happy for them. They drove very well in that wet race, and the way they maintained it, it was just chef's kiss. Congratulations, Alpine. That's my opinion. Stefan, how do you feel about this, buddy?
I think they deserve it. I think after Flavio Briatore came back to Formula One, he just gave that team the moral boost that they needed. Like, I think a lot of people got got angry because Flavio came back to Formula One. And I think he's gonna do very well next season as well with the team. I'm happy for Gasly and Ocon, especially Gasly because he was struggling a lot this season. Not Ocon as much. So I'm happy for Gasly, and it's. I mean, they were two kids growing up, and I think they never thought in their wildest dreams they're going to be a one, a two, and a three on the same podium. So kudos to them. I think watch out for Alpine the rest of the season. Maybe they have something in the car that we don't know. But yeah,
Mr. Robbie.
Yeah, um, I'm extremely happy for them. The thing what I like is that there's place for everyone in every sport, and you sometimes forget kind of about the teams and the guys that are always struggling and that stuff. But it's nice to see, whoever it is, if it's them the next race, if it's Haas, if it's Haas has been up there in Mexico and stuff. So yeah, I'm extremely happy for them. I'm extremely excited and happy for the French as well, for them to get two of those guys, because I feel like they've been two guys that's been really 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 committed and have actually bringing some good results. Unfortunately, the car's never been there really, but yeah, it's nice to see a car like that in the in 2 and 3 position. And if I'm correct, it wasn't who ended up third this weekend.
It was Mr. George Russell and then Charles Leclerc in fifth. Lando Norris in sixth. Yuki Tsunoda, which I want to congratulate as well. We'll get to that in a second. He was in seventh. So, but sorry, Robbie, you can carry on. I'm sorry.
No, no, but basically, yeah, that's just all that I've just thought that it's yeah, it shows that there's a place for everyone in the sport. It's and I mean, yeah, and it's good to see them up there. I'm extremely happy, and I can see the joy on their faces and that stuff. I mean, it's the first time I think I've seen Ocon and Gasly. I mean, you can see they aren't really I could be wrong, but don't probably seem like the greatest friendship between the teammates. But to see that emotion between them two was quite special. Every time they like hold each other and put each arm around each other and that stuff, it was all really nice to see.
Yeah, the funny thing is I don't know if you guys can remember this, but during the race in Monaco, they took each other out. So I mean that was kind of I don't know, that was kind of insane. So I don't know. I mean, possibly I don't know even what to say, man. It's just I mean, again, congratulations to them. They performed very well. I do have some things that I want to say first as well. So apparently Mercedes was fined 10,000 euros, 5,000 per car for changing the tire pressures after the first formation lap. So there was also this conversation that they would have thought after doing it there should have been a either disqualification or a time penalties. How do you guys feel about something like that? Do you think that the FIA was slightly not very strict regarding this, or do you think it was okay just finding them the 10,000 euros and have them pay that and say, listen, next time if you do it again, it's just going to be a bigger fine? Stefan, I'll go to you first, buddy.
um, yeah, I think Hamilton has given up on the season. He's given up on Mercedes. He's basically, I don't know if you guys saw on the news today. Basically, Mercedes came out with a statement said they're not going to release Hamilton. They're going to keep him till the end of the season. I feel it's not right to change your tire pressure. I mean, it can make severe consequences on your car, and I mean, if you make a huge accident, I mean, then who you gonna blame? I mean, so I think as well with the FII, I think after this weekend there needs to be a lot of changes in the rule book. with Hulkenberg getting disqualified. That was for me very stupid. Still don't, I literally didn't understand that one. I mean, yeah,
So basically, so basically, what happened there? Sorry, I'm gonna chip in. So basically, what happened there? So he beached the car, he beached it, and then the people like the safety officers that walk like throughout the grid. They pushed him back, and you're not allowed to do it at all. If your car is beached and you can't reverse it, then basically you're out. Like no one is allowed to touch the car and actually push you back and say, "Hey, listen, there you go." So you got black flagged. That's still okay. The issue is where a lot of people complained is the fact that it wasn't only Mercedes that did it. I think it was on Piastri side as well, I believe, where they changed tire pressures and you are not allowed to do it. So they got fined for it. Um, and it just started this major issue that a lot of people were saying maybe they should have gotten either disqualified and they should have gotten a 10-second penalty, for instance. But they only got fined with the 10,000 euro. Robbie, let's go over to you. If you were the FIA, what would have been your decision? Regarding this situation.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, they're giving them. I mean, if you take 5,000 whatever euros or whatever, that's almost peanuts in racing. So you just giving the guys less than a slap on the wrist for making something that is I would almost say as far as cheating. Because it's something that you aren't allowed to do, and it's very clear in the rule books. And I mean, it does give your car more performance and stuff. So it's not just a cool little fun thing where they wanted to do or something like that. I mean, they're actually affecting the performance of the car by doing that. So, I mean, I would have personally given a bigger penalty, a 10-second penalty. At the moment, I don't think I would have, because then Russell and Piastri would have been. I know Piastri was behind Norris, but that gives Norris more points, and I don't want Norris to get too close to Max. So I'm happy with that that decision they made there. But realistically, I think actually, if the guys know that, then they're going to be changing their tire pressure and know they're only going to get a little slap on their wrist every safety car or every red flag that happens. So I think that's going back to another thing with the FIA, which was very concerning, and it was kind of a kind of, how would I put this, like a concerning way to see that. Obviously, I know at the end of the day, I never want the sport to become entertaining. I mean, how can I say, like a sport that's controlled by entertainment. I know at the end of the day, to get people more interested in to watch it, it's good that the championship is close by and close in points. And obviously with that whole thing in qualifying where the crash happened, and they waited, like, I think it was 30-40 seconds to call out a red flag, where they knew it was a car crashed out the car, but they waited so that, obviously knowing that possibly Max could get knocked out. I know I'm not saying just bias to Max, but where that was something really strange, because I mean, if I'm correct, normally it's like 10 seconds max, or once they see there's a crash, and then they bring out the red flag, where it was almost like they were waiting to let guys finish their quali, which is good for them, but it could have actually cost Max and some other guys the championship. So that was a little bit of a weird thing there. I don't know what your guys' opinions about that, but it happened basically on the third corner, where Max actually drove past. I watched his onboard camera, and he drove past, if I'm correct, it was Stroll or someone that crashed there. And then they only called it, and he saw the crash, and it was into the wall, it was out. They only called it when he went around, I think it was just before the second last corner, basically before the straight. They only called the red flag, which weird there, but anyways.
So I wanna throw something in the air to both of you. Okay, so I'm gonna throw this in. I had this conversation with a good friend of mine, especially regarding, again, I'm a Ferrari fan, let's just say that I am going to be biased towards like Red Bull and all the other teams and whatnot, but I have an idea. If I was the FIA and it came down to the following. So, Robbie, you are 100% correct, man, because there was like 35 seconds left of Q2 when the accident happened. So 35 seconds. That's basically nothing. And he couldn't complete that lap. And there was the red flag. And obviously, I'm going to say this and I'll put his picture here. But the window licker Lance Stroll actually like screwed everything over. So I'm probably not allowed to call him that, but I don't care. Like, who's gonna sue me? His father can sue me for whatever I have. I have an Xbox and that's it, and a computer. So try me, man. Come and try me. Nah, but look, I had this conversation with him and I said to him, okay, if I was the FIA, I would have done this. Call the red flag, leave the 35 seconds on. Okay, leave it there. Make it a one-shot quali. A one-shot quali to get into Q3. If you don't make it, you don't make it. If it's a massive train and you don't space yourself accordingly, that's your problem. I couldn't give a damn hell. But have them still compete. Because now, it is a lot of people will say there is bias towards Verstappen. A lot of people will say this. There's a lot of people, I mean, we've seen it in the media. We've seen how people talk about him. There is so many people that they just don't want him to win his fourth. And I get it. Again, like I said, I am biased. If it was Leclerc, I mean, I would have said like, hey, yo, it's cool. Call the Q3 or Q2, whatever. Make it a red flag. No one can get close to him and all that. But I think there should be like the equal thing. Have the 35 seconds on. Tell everybody, you know what? It's time to go out, go do your lap, and make sure it's a good lap. And have them space themselves with like a 3 or 4 or 5 car length. Let them go out, do the one shot. And if you qualify for Q3, congratulations. If you do fall out and you make mistakes, unfortunately, we gave you the opportunity. We gave you that one opportunity. Now, I know some people that might watch this episode would say, yeah, but I mean, what if, the people that qualified like in P9, P10, for instance, Kick Sauber or whoever it might be, or even someone like Alpine, I mean, they could potentially be kicked out by, from the guys under, the 10 place mark. And I would still be, you know what, you still give them the opportunity to go out and do the one shot. So, Stefan, my question to you would be, if at any given point there is like 35 seconds to a minute left in a qualifying session, let's say, for instance, in a Q2, would you have the FIA say a one-shot quali, or are you still okay with the fact that they just cancel out the 35 seconds to say, hey, you know what, you didn't quali, I'm sorry?
Now, I hate that rule, whatever they call it, because I think it's ridiculous. I still think the quali format needs to be changed. I would say each driver must get like 2 laps, or 1 lap, or like a one shot quali. Even Alonso said, sponsorship wise, it makes more sense to do a one shot quali, rather than have Q1, 2, and 3, because they get more TV time. And I think, especially with or even do the qualifying before a race. I actually like that, because it showed the drivers, listen here, when you crash now, you can't make the race. And I mean, look at Albon, he didn't qualify to make the race. I think that I like a lot. Do qualifying before the race rather than do it on the Saturday, and do like the whole sprint thing on the Saturday. Um, yeah, I think as well with Stroll. He just proved us this weekend again. He doesn't belong in the F1 car at all. Robbie, how do you get it right to crash your car, nah, drive and beat your car, and tell your race engineer, listen, I beat my car? I would like be so angry. I would like What the?
Well, going back, sorry, bro, I'm gonna unfortunately not disagree with you, Stefan, but going back to the quali, I don't really have a problem with the qualifying. I think it's worked. It gives everyone kind of a fair shot. The biggest thing was for me the red flag story, which kind of bothered me, in terms of, I mean, obviously not ideal a red flag and not ideal that a guy can't complete their lap, as we spoke earlier, but. Yeah, for me, in that concern was, if there's a red flag and you see the car's out, make it 10 seconds or 5 seconds that people are, from when the car crashes, that they make a decision, is it in a dangerous position, and call the red flag. Don't decide 30 seconds later, 40 seconds later, hour later. And if they want to decide it like that, my opinion is, I do like where you say, like, you can finish the 36 seconds, whatever's left, with a one shot quali. I agree with you 100% with that. Or just red flag, because I mean, Stroll crashed in, I think, the second corner, if I'm correct. Or was it Stroll or was it, which corner?
It was science. So yeah, science basically decided to hit the closest wall as fast as possible. But then there was also like Stroll that decided to do the very same thing.
I think I'm so used to Stroll going into walls. I've just
Does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like you've been here before? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? We were caught.
I'm just just blaming him all the time. But then it was science. But I think it was the second or third corner, if I'm correct. I could be wrong there, but the second corner, okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean, and obviously Max, once he cleared that, he saw it happen, obviously right in front of him, 10 seconds or whatever. Call the red flag at that corner. But like for the other guys that kind of passed that situation, let them run it, because there's no danger. So when you finish the finish line, and you cross the finish line, that's when obviously it gets dangerous, and then you can call it red flag from there for the guys that's obviously come across the line where it actually gets into the danger zone. But the guys that's passed it, let it run. It's not like science is in any danger. It's not like they're in any danger because of the red flag, unless it's fire involved and he needs to major stuff. But yeah, I just feel like at that moment it could have either been played, person can consider playing it on, and obviously red flagging it in the danger zone or whatever. But yeah, I just it was just a very, very funny call by the FIA for me there. And that's always going to be something I think Formula One's always going to struggle with. You qualify if you in Q3 and you're lying in P1, at the moment, and you're running your second run. A lot of guys have done the wall. They've chosen the wall so they can actually stay in P1. Especially in Monaco. I know there was the thing with Perez, I think, in Max a few years ago, that Max was obviously pretty upset with Perez, and there was one with Leclerc obviously in the past. And there's been multiple people where they got to find something around there where they lose positions by going into the wall, or something that the guys can't, over push it, because then you can just push and go as hard as you want. And if I crash, it actually benefits me. If I don't crash, and I get a better lap, yeah. So I don't know what your opinion is about that, but yeah.
Yeah, look, like I said, I still think like a one shot quali would work. I like the fact about like a one shot quali. Just give everybody a chance to do one more. Just one more. Because I can promise you now, although Verstappen had one of the best races I think that he has ever had, going from 17th to 1st, was phenomenal. It was so good. I loved it. It was awesome. I mean, congratulations. But I still think I like the fact that there's battles. That's number one. I would have liked to see Verstappen in like a P4, P5 if he qualied, and like in the Q3 if he made it to Q3, P4, P5. I still think he would have qualied like at least in the top 3. But if not, I mean, it would have been nice to see. So I think in the new year or the new season, the FIA should start making a couple of changes to how they do this whole red flag thing and whatnot, because it was the same with the sprint race, where it was the delay for the virtual safety car was like ages. I think it was like 2 laps before they decided to do the virtual safety car. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, why are you taking so much time to decide on a virtual safety car? Normally, it's quick. It's that quick. Someone crashes and they like a virtual safety car. Someone crashes and they're straightforward. Listen, it's gonna be a safety car, just like a normal safety car. And it was raining. I mean, come on, anybody can go off again in the same position, and you just let it go on for like straightforward 2 laps. So that's something I don't like. I think there should be a couple of changes that needs to happen in the new year, and I think they need to start looking at things like virtual safety car, red flags. Yeah, I think there's a couple of things that the FIA can potentially change for the new year to make racing just a lot more fun. So I want to move over to something slightly a bit different. Do you guys think George would perform? Well, he will perform as good next year as what he's doing right now, because this kid is just different. He's just built differently. So Stefan, I'll start with you. For some odd reason, I don't know what it is with this kid, but he's just performing so good. It was unfortunate again with the whole red flag thing where he ended up behind Gasly, but him leading the race for so long and having Norris behind him and not letting Norris pass him at all. Stefan, I'll start with, like I said, I'll start with you. Do you think in the new year he will perform as well as this, or do you think the fact that someone like Kimi Antonelli coming in and also Hamilton going to Ferrari would kind of, there would be like an internal battle between Kimi and George, and then also obviously that kind of love-hate relationship between George and Hamilton happening in the new year?
No, I think sure. I was always a fan of Russell. I think he's a phenomenal driver, and that's why I like the drivers that were basically coming from a bad team and worked themselves up to the top tier. I mean, that's that's why I think Kimi Antonelli is gonna be the next Valentino Rossi, definitely the next Valentino Rossi, commercial wise, and I think um, that next year that Hamilton is going to Ferrari is gonna man. That guy is trying to make or beat Schumacher's record. He's not gonna do it. The only person I see doing it is Max, but I feel Hamilton is taking people's seat for some reason. I mean, he's past his time. I think he's destroyed his relationship with Toto completely. Um, and like, um, I think what happened in 2021 is still with him, and he can't get the fact over that Max won him. Um, I still feel that Hamilton should have retired at the beginning of the season and made George Russell first driver because the gloves is off. I think Russell is gonna either be in the contention for drivers championship next year or 2026. That's my prediction.
Mr. Robbie.
Yeah, just going back to you. Obviously, with George's story, he seems like a guy that's got a lot of confidence in himself. I mean, even the when he stepped into Mercedes the first time, you could see he was there to challenge Lewis from the get go. Obviously Lewis is a senior driver. He's got plenty of championships under the belt. He's definitely one of the best, Formula One drivers that's been on, that's out there. I mean, but I feel it's going to be good for George because it's going to be someone young and motivating and stuff like that. That's going to kind of push him, and I think that's also going to feel nice for him to also be in a more of a senior role. But I also think he's going to want to, prove this youngster himself, and I think Antonelli's going to come in with a lot of pace and a lot of, I feel like he'll make some small mistakes because he's still young and that stuff. But I mean, he's going to be very exciting. I mean, I'm actually excited to see him to come and to also, yeah, I feel like it's going to bring a little bit of a new life to Mercedes because like not in a funny way, but Lewis is very like laid back, chilled. George is also very laid back, chilled. It's going to be nice to have this young, feisty youngster come in and start challenging the guys and stuff. So I mean, yeah, I mean that's what I loved about Max when he stepped in the first time. It was like I couldn't believe what this youngster at the age of 16, whatever, and whatever 17, he was challenging the guys, and he wasn't scared, no matter who you are, where you were, whatever position you are, whatever your name was, or whatever. He challenged you. So I think that's what I'm excited about Kimi coming in. But I was thinking now when we were talking about when we mentioned about Lewis going to Ferrari, I think this next move is going to be extremely important for Max, where whatever he does or whatever Red Bull does, because I know he's very loyal to Red Bull, but I feel like this next move that he's going to choose in 2026 could determine if he's going to end up with the 7 or 8 championships or not. So it'll be very interesting because, I know in Lewis, I'm not saying the reason why he got his championships, but he made a very good move from obviously McLaren to Mercedes. And when he did that move, the next year Mercedes was top of the game, which obviously Lewis is a good rider, and you put 2 and 2 together. Where I think if he stayed at McLaren that year and McLaren wasn't as competitive the year afterwards, he wouldn't have. I'm not saying he wouldn't have won in the McLaren, but it possibly wouldn't have done as well. So I think like the steps and the moves the guys make in the F1 is extremely important, and for Max or whoever makes the next move, it's going to be interesting who's gonna. I'm really excited for 2025 season as well. I mean, I personally, we thought Red Bull was the dominant car. This season's already changing. Is Red Bull going to come back with a strong car next season? Is McLaren going to be as strong next year? Is Ferrari going to be as strong next year? Mercedes are in the fight. It's an exciting season for next season already. I'm getting excited for that. I can't wait to see that start. But yeah, how are you guys feeling about the 2025 season?
So here's my thing. The only thing that I don't like about Hamilton at the moment is the fact that his mentality has changed. That's the one thing that I hate. The way he speaks to Bono as well. He's a race engineer. Yo, that ticks me off. It ticks me off so bad. Because I'm just thinking like, yes, you are going to Ferrari. Congratulations. You got a major seat. You have the opportunity to go take your 8th and surpass Mr. Michael Schumacher. But being an ass to your race engineer that you have known for 10 years, give or take, that has been at Mercedes, it's not fun to watch anymore. I'm so sorry to say this, but it's not fun to watch anymore, and I don't want someone like that joining Ferrari. That's my concern. The 2025 season is, I would say, potentially going to be one of the best seasons that we could see. But if this is going to be Hamilton's idea of the way he's doing things, I'm not a fan of it. The Verstappen thing, I think if he does ever decide to leave Red Bull, which bias he is very loyal to Red Bull, I think it's going to be a bad move as well. But I think he is coming to a point now where he's like, maybe go to a team that's not asking, too much of him. Every single season he needs to win races and win the constructors and win the main championship or the drivers' championship and all that. And unfortunately, I mean, his last race that he won was in the Red Bull Ring. So that was about 11, 12 races ago, and he finally made it now. So again, also, I don't know, man. The 2025 season, I'm kind of freaking out now already. I don't want to say too much about it, but I'm freaking out about the 2025 season. I think the 2025 season is going to be different. It's going to be nice. It's going to be fun to watch. But for me personally, I'm going to stick with my main man, Charles Leclerc. I'm not too happy about Hamilton going to Ferrari, I think there was a lot of more options to have. And I'm not too big of a fan. I don't know, Stefan, what do you think about? I know we haven't touched too much on the race now, but we'll do it in a second. What do you feel about the 2025 season? Well, in fact, regarding every single team out there getting from the youngsters to one of the best generations of drivers in 2025.
I think it's gonna be exciting season. I hope and pray that Colapinto gets that Red Bull seat. I think he deserves it. I mean, Williams was asking a hefty price of 20 more euros. So I would say take the if I were Christian Horner, I would like go into my pocket and buy the guy because that guy's talented, man. And the way he drove that Williams' last 7 races was like what the. I mean, you guys can agree with me. That guy can drive. I mean, he took literally Sargent's car and outperformed Albon in 2 qualifying sessions, I think. So it says he is fast. Give him a fast car and he will perform.
It's look, it's gonna be a good season of 2025. I think everybody's excited to see this now. I think we're gonna see one of the best seasons, like I said. But for now, I want to move over to something I believe, and I want your opinions on this. I believe after this race, Sergio Perez will not be in a racing seat in 2025. I believe someone like Liam Lawson will take that seat. And I believe Colapinto will take the RB Cash App seat, replacing Liam Lawson. Liam Lawson said in the past weekend or so, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to win. And he has the mentality that Christian Horner is looking for at the moment. Sergio Perez, as always, although we said this in the previous episode, I said this in the previous episode, I love Perez. But he screwed himself over again. Like, why? Why do we allow this? Christian, dude, this episode is in English, although we are an Afrikaans podcast. If you ever see this, I need you to sack the guy. Because I'm getting bored now. Like, it's so boring to see this guy suffer. Just let him go. It's getting annoying now. Like, I don't want to be part of this anymore. It's so sad to see. I don't know about you, gentlemen, but here's the thing. I hate seeing this guy like this. I hate it. I want 2023. I want 2022. I want 2021 Perez back. And he said to the media, after the media asked him, oh, so are you going to be here next season? He said, yes. Guess what, my friend? You won't be. Unless you have like very deep, dark secrets. Especially about the WhatsApps being sent by Christian Horner to his mistress. I don't think I'm allowed to say this, but I'm not gonna cut it out. Editor, put Christian Horner here. But unless this guy knows something, man, I don't know what's going on with Perez, man. Like, honestly, how can a kid like Liam Lawson, like Colapinto, unfortunately Colapinto crashed the car. I do understand that, but this was his first race in the rain for Williams. How can a guy like Liam Lawson perform better than Perez so far every single race that he was in an RB Cash App seat? Where I don't know even. You know what? I'm just gonna switch scenes here. I'm just gonna go to Stefan. No, I'm gonna go to Robbie first, cause, dude, I almost cussed. Sorry, I'm still on my scene. I want to rant. You know what? I'm gonna take my 1 minute and rant about this. Perez, we miss you. Like, we do. Christian, we miss the guy. Like, encourage him to be better. Just help him. Like, take his hand and help him if you still want him next season. The fact that he was telling the media, I'll still be here next season. That's a lie. You are lying, my friend. You are going to be like Bottas and start a nude calendar thing or something, or your own restaurant where you make Mexican food and all that. But you won't be in the seat next season unless you perform. You have 3 races left, my guy. 3 races to get better. And one of them is a very crappy race, which is called Las Vegas. Because someone is going to hit one of those little switch tank things again. The whatever they're called. Because they can't fix their roads. Because it's Vegas, it's America. I don't know what's going on, but it's not working for you guys. But Perez, we need you back. And I hate the fact to say this, but I can't not see him next season. You know what I'm going to do just in advance? I'm going to ask my editor to put Daniel Ricciardo right here. Wait, right here. And Perez right here. Because I believe next season we won't be seeing them on the grid at all ever again. And now I'm going to move over to Robbie. What is your opinion about Lawson versus Perez, my guy?
No, 100%. I mean, I got to admit with you there. I got to actually agree with you there. Sorry, that it's so sad seeing Perez so fallen so far back. I mean, I loved that guy, bro. I loved that guy. That guy was like, bro. He was, the minister of defense. He was the guy that, yeah, when Max and Lewis were fighting, he was there just behind Bottas or with Bottas. Third in the order. He was always there. If Max needed him, he was there. I mean, when last have we looked at Perez in any time and been like, sure, he's actually being a teammate? We Max hasn't needed him or couldn't rely on him once. I'm telling you now, in the last since 2021, and it's been sad because, yeah, I mean, Perez is he's a great driver, he's a great talent, but I mean, bro, to have the confidence to tell the media that you're gonna, I think he still says he wants to come and win a championships. He still believes he can just still win a championship, if I'm correct. And that's personally, I know it's good to have confidence, but you at some stage must realize that you can't just blow your own steam up your own, yeah. So I would in a way love to see Lawson or Sonoda or someone there. Like I said last weekend, there's going to be some complications, unless Red Bull sits him down. But to have two quite hot-headed, because Lawson seems a lot more hot-headed than I expected. I mean, I know he's a good driver and that stuff, but which is it's not a bad thing. But two Max Verstappens in a Red Bull, I don't know how that would end. So yeah, I don't know how much Max is kind of backing it, because I know he's really backed Perez, which I think he's almost felt like he's owed him since 2021 season, because every time he's always standing up for Perez and he's always saying he deserves to this and that. And I know he was like that also with Ricardo. So I think he's loyal to his man, his older men. But yeah, it'll be very exciting and very interesting. I personally don't see a seat for Perez. I don't even see him. I think personally, if I was in his boots and I was with Christian Horner and them, I'd be like, listen, you've had a great run. Your career was going to stop already in 2020. You were going to race your last race. With who was it back then before he went to Red Bull?
Oh, it was Force India.
Wait for yeah, it was Force India, then went to the pink cars. Yeah. Anyways, but besides that, yeah, it was like his career would have ended there, and I mean they prolonged his career by another 4 years, which is it's awesome. But I think like they should be like there's a time and a place for everything, and unfortunately his time has come, and like I wouldn't even give him a AlphaTauri or whatever cash up seat. I would just tell him, let's get a youngster in there and like a Colapinto, and then move a Lawson up. So yeah,
Stefan, what do you think, buddy?
I think Perez must go to Mexico and open a tacos restaurant or something. Like Rob said, you can't put two Max in one team. I mean, they're gonna take each other out like how Max and Ricardo did. It was like shocking. So yeah, I mark my words. I'm certain. I'm a I love my transfer news. I think Colapinto's going to Red Bull.
But again, that would be a tough ask though. This youngster coming in and then trying to perform with Max. That's my thing. But the fact that so here's my thing. Why I'm stating Lawson. The fact that Lawson can take on someone like Hamilton and actually outrun him, and actually, I think it was lap 63, 64. I think maybe 65 thereabouts. So I'm putting it under correction because it felt like a long time ago. And to be fair, I'm slightly a bit tired. I am tired of Perez making me angry. I'm joking. I'm not. I'm not joking. No, but the fact that the fact that Lawson could have challenged someone like Hamilton, which is I mean, this guy is just a legend in the sport, and take him on and actually cause him to lose like a kind of a steering during lap, let's say up until about 65ish, losing kind of the steering thing because I mean he was just defending him the whole time. So he passed him, defended him, and ended up like I think 1 second 25 or something like that ahead of him. That's why I'm stating Lawson. However, Robbie, I do hear you. Two hot-headed kids in one team won't work because we've seen this with the French, Mr. Ocon and Mr. Pierre Gasly. The fact that those two are Frenchmen, they don't like each other. They weren't really friends when they were doing karting and all that. They got thrown into the same team. They kind of took each other out in Monaco of this year. I do get the whole Lawson versus Verstappen thing, so I'm not going to rant too much. But however, I think putting Lawson in instead of Perez, putting Lawson in into a car that performs like the way Verstappen did. I mean, gentlemen, come on. After the red flag, start of the race, I'm gonna yell. I'm gonna yell. This guy went like 12 and a half seconds ahead of Ocon in like 5 or 6 laps. This guy is on another type of drug. I don't know what it is, but he is next level. So imagine if they could tell Lawson, you know what? In 2025, you will not win your championship, your first championship. You will help Max. However, come 2026, we might switch it around. And this kid might win a championship at the age of like 22, 23, which would be phenomenal. But I'm saying this, I'm putting my cards up as well, that Lawson will take the seat of Perez. That's what I'm going to say. That's how I feel about it. Moving over to Mr. Colapinto. So unfortunately, crashed, caused the red flag. Do you guys think this was just slightly a bit, he didn't have enough experience in the wet weather, or do you guys think that maybe he was just trying to push it slightly, quite hard under the safety car after boxing? Because I mean, that was quite sad to see this kid crash. I think that was such a big crash, man, and I was like, oh no, 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 no. We all had high hopes, man. I mean, let's be honest with all our viewers out there. Mr. Robbie said there is a possibility that Colapinto could end up in like fifth or sixth. I think that was. Oh no, no, no! You didn't have the wild. You had the wild card on the horses. I think it was Mr. Stefan said he could end up in fifth or sixth, and he was on the go. I mean, he could have done it very, very easily. Unfortunately, the whole red flag situation. And Stefan, I would have bought you a calendar, man. A Bottas calendar. So my question would be, starting with Stefan, do you think it's just a bit not experienced yet in the rain, or do you think it was just like kind of trying to push the car too hard for the to go to the safety car?
No, I think he just had a little bit inexperienced, but man, it was so awesome to see the Argentinian fans in Brazil. That connection with Brazil, or I mean, they're next to each other. It was like a Maradona versus Pele, or Maradona and Pele. Two legends of the sport. And yeah, I think that guy has a big future in Formula One. And yeah, like I said, he's definitely not going anywhere next season. So it's either or. B. I don't see him in the Sauber. I think the car is the car's not performing. I don't know when Audi's taking over, but as long as Audi hasn't taken over yet, I don't see them upgrading their car too much. Yeah, definitely 2026, but not next year. So, like I said, I still think Colapinto is going to Red Bull, and then uh, uh, um, what's his name, Perez. He can be a reserve driver. I don't really care. As long as he doesn't drive an F1 car. But I think Lawson, I was always a big fan of Lawson when he was driving F2. So I would say give him a chance in 2026, maybe in a Red Bull car. I think Max is going to a different. I think he's going to Aston Martin, to be honest, in 2026. So yeah,
Mr. Robbie, what do you think, Mr. About Colapinto maybe not having too much experience?
So you broke up a bit there.
Okay, wait. Let me just move over to this. So, what do you think about Colapinto? Do you think it was just inexperience, or do you think it was maybe just pushing slightly a bit too hard to reach the safety car?
Yeah, I think it's just. I mean, I think it's just a normal mistake of a little bit of inexperience. I don't think it's a lack of talent. Yeah, I just think personally it was just a little mistake, which I think we saw a lot of guys made mistakes. And I think a young, exciting guy like that, he's also trying to prove himself as much as he can because he hasn't got a seat yet for next year. So you obviously feel like this is the moment to prove yourself, and he just pushed it a little bit too far. I would say very similar to an Antonelli's position, but except obviously he's luckily getting more rides than Antonelli. But they're young, they're a little bit inexperienced, they're pushing themselves further than they realize the car can go, and take it from there. We pretty similar, with our boats and stuff. If they always say, like, if you flip your boat, which is quite a common thing, it's almost like crashing your car in a race. The limits, and I think they know the limits now, and they know how far they can push it, and they'll just learn from it.
So, I want to give you guys the stats at the moment before we end this beautiful podcast that we had tonight. Hopefully, there won't be any sound issues. I've tested it. If there is, guess what, gents? I'm calling you guys again to do another one. Um, so at the moment, standings, ladies and gentlemen. Well, gentlemen only. Max Verstappen on 393 points, Mr. Lando Norris on 331 points, and Mr. Charles Leclerc on 307 points. That is the top three. We're looking towards Las Vegas at the moment. Now, there is 25 points available for Lando Norris and also 25 points available for Max Verstappen. There is the possibility that come 25 days from today, if Max Verstappen wins the Las Vegas Grand Prix, he will be announced as the new champion. Well, as the defending champion of the world in F1 sports. But also, we're looking at the Constructors' Championship. So, McLaren at 593, Ferrari at 557, and Red Bull at 544 points. Gents, that is the top three again. Come to Las Vegas. It won't be decided, but it will be decided by the end of the season at Abu Dhabi. I want to know from you guys, how excited are you guys about? Let's start with the Drivers' Championship. If Max doesn't win this, the Las Vegas Grand Prix, are you guys excited that this could possibly go to Abu Dhabi? Stefan.
yes, you're asking me a tough question. Um,
What are you thinking for now?
Go
Because I've
ahead.
got someone in the back of my mind. I personally don't think they're going to go to the last race of the season. I think it will be not sorted in Las Vegas. This is just my opinion. I think it will be done the second last race, which is in
Qatar.
Qatar, yeah. Because I mean, if you look at the points difference now, if what it's 60, around 60.
So the points difference in the drivers' championship, so it's 393 points for Max Verstappen, and Lando Norris is sitting on 331. So that would give you a deficit of what's it, 62? It's like it's 62 points. It's 62 points. Yeah. Go ahead, Robbie.
Yeah, so that's that's almost Max getting no points, because if Lando wins every race for the next three races and Max gets no points, no points, and no points, then Lando only beats him by 13 points. So it's if I'm correct, it's it's about more or less. But so I feel like the second last race of the season, it should be decided. But it would be interesting. I want it to be decided there really in Las Vegas, so I can just take a little bit of a chill for the rest of the season, not be too much on my nerves. But it's going to be interesting Las Vegas race. Very interesting. With I've got a feeling the Red Bull, I mean the Ferraris are going to be good. I think they're going to be back on pace. So I'm excited for that. But yeah,
Mr. Stefan?
Yeah, I think it will be also either Vegas or Qatar. I think the constructors is going to be determined on the last race of the season, and then yeah, I think it's going to be a very tense last few races, especially Qatar because it's a sprint weekend. So there's a lot of points up for grabs. So yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of tears. But I personally think we're going to have a new constructors champion, and I'm calling it Ferrari.
You guys are so kind. See my smile.
that's 21 points that Lando Norris has to beat Max Verstappen by to win the championships or to equal his the difference at the moment. So that's quite a big margin. Unless I'm not correct with this, but there's 3 weekends left, and it's 63 points. And if you divide that, it works out to 20 21. So
Look, it's not impossible. I had to do this for dramatic effect. It's not impossible, but it's not impossible. The thing is just that, and here's my thing. That's would be the final thing that I would say before we move on to like the most popular section of this podcast. It's not impossible, seeing that I know both these guys are gonna like try and take each other out, 100%, depending on where they qualify. Knowing Norris, him not being able to take a corner, knowing Verstappen, knowing that he can absolutely take a corner, I think they're going to try and take each other out some way, somehow. I hope it doesn't happen because I don't want it to be decided on technicalities. I hope it's going to be like proper racing. I think that is important to note as well. I want Ferrari to take the Constructors' Championship. It must happen. I'm putting it out in the universe that the Tifosi will win this year. I know this. I can feel it. I don't know how, but I feel it. Hear me now, Ferrari. If you win the we should wait, Robbie. I'm gonna ask you this. Maybe you could help us with this, okay? Regarding this Ferrari thing. So I want you to put us up with a challenge. Well, I would say me because I'm the Ferrari fan, right? So if Ferrari wins the constructors, what would you like me to do as like a challenge?
that's actually interesting. There's so many options.
It could be anything. It could be okay, but nothing weird though. Don't get weird about it. Like go out like and hang a sign around my head that says
Eat something weird or something like that. That's what I'm trying to think of.
um
If they don't win, then do I have to do the opposite, or does it just count with you?
No, because you're a Max fan. Okay, so that's okay. So you don't need to worry about anything. Plus, you do boat racing, so you are already doing something that's quite crazy. So don't worry. I'm just thinking. So okay, wait. I'm not gonna put the challenge up because there might be this one that says go do bungee jumping, and I'm scared. I'm scared of heights. I'm quite scared of like a lot of things. So I'll eat something maybe weird. I'll buy something that I never eat or I hate, like celery. I can't do celery. Yo, like every single time I eat celery, I want to vomit so badly. So I'll eat like a long piece of like massive celery, and I'll finish it if Ferrari wins. I'll finish it and I'll record myself because the thing is that me and Stefan had this thing whereby on our second to last episode we said to on the video that if we get 50 likes that we will get into an ice bath and sit in it for 2 minutes. We have 55, so on Thursday I'm buying a couple of it might rain on Thursday here in Pretoria, but I'm buying packets of ice on Thursday and then I'm doing the ice bath challenge. So that's what I'm just thinking with the whole Ferrari thing. Either which way, Ferrari, if you can hear me, I need you to win the Constructors' Championship. We move over to the following, gentlemen, before we get off track completely. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Before you go, how,
I have an idea. Okay, so Giovanni,
Yep.
if Ferrari wins the Constructors' Championship, you need to eat the red hot chili, like the hottest chili that you can get.
I do not have a medical aid. That's the first one. The second thing is, so our refrigerator, it cannot hold 100 packets of toilet paper. It cannot. So I can do it, which is not a problem at all. But you will get a call from our lawyer stating that you should pay my medical bills, and that's the only thing I'm going to say. I'm going to go over to Robbie again because he wanted to say something.
so what I was saying is, seeing as you guys got this challenge, what my suggestion is, I'll join you guys with that challenge if we get 100 likes on this cast.
Oh snap! Okay, or 100 likes on this. So we'll do. Okay, so obviously we'll do it quite small for now and then move up. So I said to Stefan, we do 50 likes and we do an ice bath for 2 minutes, and maybe have someone ask you a couple of questions about the F1, like for instance, name the drivers from first to 20th, for instance. So name all the drivers with their teams and all that. And then if we get 100 likes, that's where you do like a eating challenge. Like anything, either super sour. I can't do sour sweets, for instance. So those toxic waste ones, I can't do it. Like my whole eye just starts like twitching. Or and do the chili thing. But then Stefan said he can't handle chili. I can't handle chili either. But I'm willing to do it. So Robbie, I'll make this deal with you. I'll make this deal with you. So, wait, just say that again. Go ahead.
So how about the burning noodles one?
So
Burning noodles.
those ones from Korea.
Yeah.
Do you have a medical aid? Are you allowed to add a child? I could pretend to be one if I shave, dude. I could be 16 any day of the week. But okay, we'll do this. Okay, I'm gonna start off with this first. Gentlemen, we are at that point in time at the moment, okay? I'm going to start with Robbie. I'll move over to Stefan and then I'll go over to myself. Robbie, just give me your top 5 for Las Vegas, and then as always, give me your wild card. The one person that you would throw in as just, maybe if it's possible, some way, somehow, that person will come into P6. So start off with the P1 all the way to P5 and give me one wild card, please.
So I'm gonna go with Leclerc or Norris for 1 and 2. I will maybe go with let's go with Norris for 1, Leclerc 2, Verstappen 3, Sainz 4, let's say Russell 5, and then my wild card, I'll go for Albon.
Okay, Mr. Stefan.
I would say Max Verstappen, Lando, Oscar, Charles, Sainz, and then my wild card Colapinto. I just love the guy.
Crazy, crazy. So biased again. Here we go. Here we go. Science, Leclerc, Norris, Russell, Hamilton, Lawson. I'm not having Verstappen in. I'm not. I'm leaving him out, boys. Like he doesn't belong here anymore. I need someone else to win the championship. I need them so bad. I need Norris to win this championship, boys. I don't want to even lie to you. Like I'll even say this. I'll even put Norris at like first, but I'm not gonna do it now because my editor is gonna hate me. So I'm gonna go in that specific order. Editor, you know what to do. But I'll say this: if Norris wins the championship, I'll make you guys a deal. I'll fly down to Cape Town and we'll go have a couple of beers, and we'll bill it on our business account if we have money by that time. We'll go have. Oh no, it's okay. So what we'll do with you is we'll do the same thing when you have like the bachelor's parties, like when you get married. So we'll put a sign around your neck that says "I want money because Verstappen lost," and we'll push you into the street and be like, "Go get us some drinking money, just for fun." But I think
So
yeah.
one
Go
more
ahead.
thing,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
there's
ahead.
a small possibility that I might be putting in Piastri between Russell, either Russell or Piastri. Just I don't want to throw the guy out because I am a big Piastri fan. I might not talk about him much, but yeah, I am actually a big Piastri fan. We'll talk about them another time. But yeah,
Yeah. Look, this kid is good. I think he's been struggling slightly, just like a little bit, but that's okay, man. Like I think everybody has that off day or whatnot. I mean, it could be worse. It could be Perez having an off season. So Piastri is very good, man. I love Piastri. Um, but gentlemen, as always, thank you for being part of the podcast. Robbie, thank you for joining us, man. It was phenomenal. If I made a few mistakes about the things I've said, I am very sorry. Please don't quote me on this. Obviously, I'm so deathly tired. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I do apologize for that. But as always, this has been fun. Stefan, thank you to you, man. Robbie, maybe a last couple of words. I would say just before you go, should we do the 50 likes, the ice bath challenge, and then 100 likes? We'll do like something either sour or hot, maybe.
I agree with you 100%. Let's do 50 likes, the ice bath challenge, and then 100. We'll do that hot, extremely hot noodles challenge. I think I'm in for that. I don't know about you guys, but we'll.
Stefan, what do you think, buddy?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so here's the challenge to our viewers. At 50 likes, we'll do an ice bath challenge whereby me, Stefan, and Robbie will get into an ice bath, separate ice baths, but we'll get into ice baths and have either our spouses or partners ask us a couple of questions about Formula One, and we'll record it and we'll post it on YouTube as well. And at 100 likes, we'll order those Korean noodles from overseas, or I think you can probably get it here in Pretoria. I'll send you guys each a packet, and then we'll eat like a whole bowl of it, and then burn our mouths off. But for now, I thank you guys so much. Stefan, to you, my friend. We've been going on with this podcast. We've had 2 episodes now in English. Obviously, the next one we will need to make in Afrikaans because we can't. It's F1 in Afrikaans. But we love having Robbie on as well. Robbie, thank you to you, buddy. Maybe a last couple of words from you, if you don't mind, to our viewers and just about maybe the F1 season, and then I'll move over to Stefan just for the last couple of words.
Cool. Thanks so much, guys, for having me. And yeah, it's really been good. Thanks everyone for watching. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys soon. Hopefully I'll get better with my Afrikaans and can or have a translator next time. But yeah, and then yeah, Thanks, guys, for having me, and we'll see you till next time.
Mr. Stefan.
Guys, enjoy the small break. We will see you after Vegas, and yeah, let's stand. Well, I'm standing by my boy Max, and may the best man win.
Ladies and gentlemen, may the best man win. See you guys soon. Let's go!